Hello, hello, and welcome back. I'm Claire, this is Purple Poppy, and today we're working on part 2 of the recticule, the little white lace bag reminiscent of something from the Edwardian period. So, oh sorry, I'm a bit out of breath. I've been running up and down the stairs. Now, we've got this area here that hasn't got any of our lace on because it was already missing, so we need to fill that in. I did go ahead and finish stitching all around my roses on the front piece, and then on the back piece I went round some of the other shapes just so that it's got, you know, stitching on it. Okay, so with regard to this gap here, I was thinking we could use, where has it gone? Where has it gone? Where has it gone? Maybe this piece here. I quite like that. So I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to snip that out. I'm not going to sew it on today because, well, it's a bit boring watching me sew that on, isn't it? Maybe, I don't know. So we just roughly trim that out. So that we can work out the exact positioning, and then I can cut it to more detail and stitch it on probably as homework, because I don't really want there to be a million of these videos. Right, so that's gonna basically sit there like that. Now it is still white, but as with all things, it's a different white, so it stands out a bit differently. And I am actually wondering if it might be nice if it had, I mean, this is, if it had some fabric underneath, you know, before we put it on there. So I'm going to think about all that. But obviously I need something to fill that space. I've got this piece of edging that's come off of goodness knows what, but I'm going to use that as not only a pretty edge but also my joining piece. So I'm going to pick this up, pop that in there, and then we're going to stitch through all 3 layers at the same time, and that's how it will finish, you see. And then this will, you won't see that top little bit because that will be sitting there. Okay, so that's that and that. But what I'd like to work on today is it needs a handle, and being the Edwardian times, it needs a nice delicate handle. So I've got here this bag of beads. They're like pearls, they're obviously not pearls, and a crochet hook, and some more of the white embroidery cotton. It's the Sheepy's one, Sheepy's Maxi Tree, and this is number 105. Okay, now what I'm going to do is really simple. And if you're saying, oh no Claire, I can't crochet, yes you can. Hang on and I'll show you. So I'm going to thread my needle like so. Okay, and once, I'm not cutting any length, I'm just threading it, and I'm going to go into my bag of pearls. Now you can see there's all different sizes in here. I want these ones that are a pretty uniform size, and I know they've got a nice hole in them. It's basically a broken necklace, and I'm gonna, whoops, pick them up onto my needle, she says. So easy when there's no camera on, of course. And I'm just gonna, whoops, get a pile on. Actually, this is probably frustrating to watch, isn't it? But anyway, and then when you've got a few like that, just slide them down your thread, okay? And then just go again. I'm probably gonna put about 20 on here. At the end of the day, if you don't use them, it doesn't matter, because we can save them off the other end of the thread, so that's fine. But I'm probably going to put about 20 on, so that if I want to, I can have, whoops, a nice longish handle. Now, in the last one that I made, I did make it, as I said before, a rectangle, and I made it a drawstring. And I know that the lady who received it was very delicately trying to see whether or not it was actually a drawstring or if it just appeared that way. You know who you are. If you're watching, then trust me, when I drew it closed, I wasn't gentle with it at all. I just gave it a good tug. So don't worry about being gentle. It will draw up, no problem at all. But anyway, I'm not going to make a drawstring out of this one. I'm just going to put a handle on it. We will obviously have to put a lining in because the stitching, whoops, that one's not going to work. The stitching of the thread through the lace is showing on the other side of that cotton, so we're going to need to what we're going to need to do, put a lining in so that those stitches don't get caught. But that's simple enough to do. There were some interesting comments on the first video last week. People, one lady in particular, was saying maybe should consider making them as bridal bags. I don't know that I like making things to order. I've spent all my life making things to order in my work life, and now that I'm not working, I like to do what I like to do. And if that means that all I want to do today is walk around in my pyjamas and bake a cake, then that's what I want to do. And if I've got, you know, an order to get an anything custom made by a set date, I lose that opportunity. So, nice idea. If somebody else would like to take it up, go for it. Right, I don't know how many that is, but that looks like enough to me. So I'm now going to take the needle back off, give myself plenty of thread, okay, and we are going to have a bit of a dangle, and then we're going to tie a loop. Goodness me, Claire, you can tie a loop, you know you can. There you go, tie a loop like so. And then when you've got a loop, we're going to chain stitch, and or make a chain. So all you're going to do is really simple. Is this crochet hook is a 3mm, okay? You could use any size. If you've only got a 4, use a 4, it's fine. And then you're just going to wrap over the front once, holding that knot, and pull through. Over the front once, pull through the hole. Over the front, pull through. And you're getting this lacy little chain, okay? So over, through, over, through, over, through. I mean, it doesn't get any simpler. And then all I'm going to do now is I'm going to pull up one of my beads, pull it all the way up, get it right close to my hook, okay, and then bring my thread bring my thread over as I was when there was no bead there, and pull it through and draw it tight. I'll do a few more so that it's not as close to the pearl as it is at the moment, and you'll be able to see it. Okay, so again, over, through, over, through. And trust me, I'm no expert crochet lady. I am definitely not. I'm much more of a knitter. But if you can tie a bow, you can 100% do this. Right. And then if you go, oh no, it's really stressful, you can just do that with a giant loop so it doesn't come off, and stop. Come back to it later. You're in a different frame of mind. So there you go. You can see we've got this lacy chain, and then we've got a pearl. And I'm just gonna, let's get rid of that, and then I'm just gonna keep on. Don't pull that loop closed, Claire. I'm just going to keep on going until I've got the amount of length I want for my handle, and I'm going to incorporate my pearls in my chain until it's as long as I want it to be. It's that simple. So I'm going to put you on pause. I'm going to do some more because I'm sure watching that is a bit boring, and then we'll come back. So I'll see you in a minute. Okay, so I'm back. So as you can see, I've come a little way along. I'm just going to do about 5 more stitches to finish it off. I'll show you in a minute, and we'll have a measure just in case it's important to anyone. But you'll see that my gaps between my pearls are very uneven, and then I'm just going to trim in the middle. I've done a giant loop. Okay, I'm just going to snip it in the middle. Find that's the actual handle strap now, and then this is my cotton with the pearls on. So then all I'm going to do is drop that in there and pull them off, and that's what I said to you about, you know, it doesn't matter, you can take them off the other end. Right, so this is from the first stitch to the last stitch. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 14 inches. Okay, and that's going to go like that. Now because we've got this gap on the front, I'm actually going to attach my handle to the back. Okay, so now I'm going to get close to my knot and create another loop like so. Okay, put my hook back through. Oh, I want to get, that's not worked. Let's wrap it round like that, put my hook through, pull it through that way. That should be better. There you go. Okay, so I've got a new loop, it's back on, and then I'm just going to pick up my lace off of the back, hold my handle about an inch in, and I'm going to put my loop on my hook through my lace. Okay, and then I'm going to do a stitch. It's a little bit fiddly, but you'll get there. Okay, and another one. There you go. And just pull the end through, because again, that's going to create a knot. And that's now attached on one side. Okay, so then I won't make you have to look at that again because it is a bit fiddly. But you can now see that is how it's going to look, like that. Okay, and then the last thing I'm going to do is bring my needle back. I'm going to thread it again with this same long edge, and you'll see why I left it so long. Now obviously I'm not necessarily doing this in the order that I would do it if I wasn't filming, because I don't want you having to watch, you know, 10 videos. That's not what you want to do, is it? And then I'm going to take 2 of these teardrops, 1 for each side. If you haven't got something like this, you could definitely use a button, just so you've got something different on the end. And then I'm going to thread it with my needle again, in exactly the same way we did the ball pearls. And then I'm just going to get a knot as close to the bottom of that as I can. Now this is what I call super fiddly, mainly because I've got such giant fingers. Now if you've got lovely delicate proper lady fingers, you won't have a problem at all. It's only because I've got such nightmare fingers. And then try and do another one right on top of it, just so you've got a nice big knot. You can use needle or crochet hook, whatever, pull it through. And I'm trying, see, I don't want it up there, do I? I want it all the way down there. Oh, look at that, actually got it on top, just to try and make sure that's not going to come off. Okay, so now you've got an interesting end and a little dangly bit on your bag. And then I'm just gonna chop it off about there. So that's what I'm gonna do to that side. Okay, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna join these together. So but normally you'd put right sides together and turn it inside out. I'm not going to do that. You can do that if you'd rather, but I'm just going to do it on the outside. So oh, excuse me. Right, so as I told you I was going to, we're going to pop this between both layers, so we've got quite a nice wide bit before the hole comes through, the hole in the lace. I'm just going to put a little pin in there and close that up. Okay, and then I'm just going to line it up, and obviously you can use that hole as your guideline, which makes it even easier. Like that, and just bring it all the way down. Okay, there we go, and pin it all the way round. Ow, 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 just stab myself with that pin. Oh, there we go. And you'll see, look, that's what it's going to look like as we come all the way round. And then I really did stab myself. And then obviously just do a basic really strong double thread running stitch to hold that completely set. And then you can use the same white sheet if you want, or something different to cut your pattern out again. I'm actually going to use something different. So here's my bag of white and creamy fabrics, and I think I'm going to use one of these, not that, that's tablecloth. I'm going to use one of these serviettes. So I'll get rid of these bits of fluff and stuff. Okay, so I've got a piece here. We need to get 2 of these out. Are we going to get 2 out? Oh, not quite. Not quite, Claire. You might need a bigger piece. Oh no, that'll work. Right. So, line that up. And I'm just going to literally plop that on there. Come up this end. And obviously it doesn't fit because of my lace. If I take my lace off, it will fit. I'm going to take my heat-proof marker, or, you know, my heat erasable marker, and I'm just going to mark where I need to cut. Like that. Whoops. And like that. And it needs to come down on an angle a little bit like that. As you can see, I'm doing real basic stuff here, nothing special at all. And then give yourself a little bit extra, as oh, those scissors are rubbish, a little bit extra as usual, because you're going to want to put a seam in there. Now, because I folded it, I'm not going to put a seam up both sides, because that side is already done. So then what I'm going to do is line that back up, fold it in half like that, okay, and then I'm going to cut I don't know why I'm not using my proper fabric scissors anyway. Cut straight through there. See, that's better, isn't it? Like that. And then just take your little diagonal side down there. And then when we open that up, that is basically identical. Take a little bit more off. No, we don't. That is perfect. Right. So then, what you're going to do, obviously, is you're going to stitch. Where's my pen gone? You're going to stitch all the way down there where you've cut, all the way along the bottom here where it's open, okay, all the way up this side, okay, like that. Stitch all of that. I'm not worried about this heat erasable pen. Then when it's all stitched, and this is all stitched and your lace is all in place, you can slide it in from the top like so. It's already all stitched, and then this piece we are going to go fold one, fold two, and we're going to put a delicate little stitch on the front, and then we do exactly the same on the back. And obviously, because you've got that nice rolled edge, it finishes it off nicely for you. You'll do exactly the same on the back. You'll fold it once, and you'll fold it twice, and then you'll stitch across there. Okay, so then what you've got is all your lace around the edge, like so, and then you've got your beautiful pearl handle coming on the top there, like that, and then we've still got that ball bit, and this is the point at which we add that as an extra. And you may choose, if you haven't yet put your bead on, to go all the way over, but then you wouldn't have your lace. So I'm just gonna pull it there, snip it, and then my lace will carry on all the way around. So I know I've semi-rushed through the instructions with you there today, but to be honest, it's so simple. I don't think you really need to know much more than that. I will come back next week with a new project, but with this finished. Okay, so you've got the instructions on how to do every part of it without having to watch a million videos. As always, thank you so much for spending time with me today. I hope you found joy and inspiration, and I'll see you next week with a finished bag and a new project. Stay safe. Ta-ta for now.